What is up, Frog fans? You are listening or watching to Post Game Beers. I'm your host, JD Sailors, joined tonight with Ray Cartwright and Martin Guerrero. And tonight we bring you another off-season interview spectacular episode with none other than Frog infielder Cole Cramer. Cole, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, man. It's hard to say it's your first time on the show because we've seen you in the comments before on some, week recaps and stuff like that. So it's your first time on air, at least.
It is, yes. No, I forgot about that. You're right. I was watching. I don't know where I was, but I follow and I watch him after a weekend series. And I remember one time, like, you guys were live, and I was all over the comments. Oh yeah,
yeah. So welcome to the show. So where does the day find you? What is the day-to-day routine like? We're sitting here at September 12th. So what is the day like for you guys, or week to week?
Yeah. Usually it's going to start out with weights in the morning. We're going to get up early, setting the tone, 6 a.m., see it weights. After that, it's class. We're going to make sure on time, in class, front row, the whole deal.
In a tux and everything, just real squared away.
Exactly.
Dude, like stepbrothers showing up for an interview.
No, actually, do you guys have Dion rules? I don't know if you saw that video, but he's addressing the team and he's like, no hoodies, no slides. We're gonna have a problem. Do you guys have rules like that?
We have rules. It's not necessarily how you dress. I mean, we expect you, not to be wearing cutoffs and those things in class, but 5 minutes early, sit in the first 3 rows, all that good stuff. Just it helps you pay attention in class. I mean, you can't. We don't want you sitting in the very back of the class where the teacher's not going to notice you. Things like that. But I mean, knockout school. Then you're going to have a little bit of downtime, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. And then after that, it's kind of right into practice. We get your early hitting in, and right now we're in individual stuff. So we're going to work through our individual deal. And then usually, I don't know, it fluctuates on time of when you're done, but sometime more in the evening after you get your stuff done and you feel like, about ready to go home. And then after that, it's hang out with the guys, get your homework done. I mean, I'm very fortunate with my roommates, so we have a real good time, but it's just hang out with your guys and get ready for the next day.
How much schoolwork do you still have left to do? You in particular?
Not much. Not much. I think I've this
taking like square dancing classes and stuff like that. Or?
Yeah. No. I think next semester it should be a little bit easier for me with my path in academics. I think I'm taking 4 classes right now. I'm enjoying them, and then next semester I got to talk to my advisor for how many classes I need. It should be hopefully just 1. Being a real old guy on the team.
Are you going for your master's, or are you doing a certificate? I know it varies a lot between, graduate.
So I still haven't graduated.
Oh, snap.
When I came from Washington State, TCU didn't have my degree plan.
The old Chase Burns.
Yeah, we've
Yeah. So I had to
we got you at least.
So I had to switch my degree plan, and some of the classes, you know how it works. Some of them don't transfer over.
Yeah. Right.
It's a whole thing. So I changed my degree plan, and I'm this close to finishing it, and I'm super pumped to, I'm very happy, to get a degree from TCU is an awesome thing. And I'm fortunate enough that finish all of last year and then knock out the classes this fall, and then hopefully one, maybe a couple in the spring, and be on the way.
How many credits transferred from Lynn Benton?
Oh, my JUCO days. I got my AA out of it. So I think that's 90 is where that's at. I think it is.
Yeah, give or take. I should know because I just did the whole community college route a couple of years ago.
It's 60 or 90. It's one of them, but I had all of those, and those of course transferred to Washington State. It was awesome and it was easy, and then transferring here was a little bit where the hiccup came in, but other than that, it's been pretty smooth.
Now, can we go ahead and confirm live on the air to everybody listening that this is indeed your last year, and you're not gonna go for the Chase Curtis 8 years?
I believe so. I don't. Because the JUCO rule, they gave me another year. Someone's hinted.
Let's lawyer up and stretch this out.
Yeah,
right?
Why not?
Why
leave?
There's a crazy, some maybe possibility that I get another one. I don't know.
Oh man, we got to make that happen.
I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny the future.
Dude, that TCU social media post. That TCU social media post announcing his 30th birthday is going to hit like crack.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
how old are you?
I'm 22.
22, and they call you Unc.
They do, yes. It was weird. Like last year, like I was 21. Like I wasn't even the oldest dude on the team last year. I'm not the oldest dude on the team this year either.
Dude, yeah, we brought that up. I'm like, he's not even the oldest guy on the team.
No. Like last year, I was like the 5th oldest dude on the team, and they called me Unc, and I was like, it was probably the beard showing up like the first days having the beard.
So I can relate to this. So I actually joined TCU at I was 22 when I started, right? And I started playing club ball. Yeah. And I was easily the oldest guy on the team. There was a guy getting his master's degree who was a year younger than me, but he had a mustache. So they called him Grandpa.
Yeah.
And
it's always the facial hair. It always is. You get the young freshmen that come in that can't quite grow it yet. They'll get there, but because we have the rule in the fall, no facial hair. We make sure that is like it's a hard deadline, hard rule right there. No facial hair. We have to have a team 3-0 or higher, which is, I think it's awesome. Like it's a good incentive it makes, especially me, someone who can grow facial hair, be like, get on other people, be like, hey, dude, I need to have my beard in the fall, or in the spring. But it's a great incentive. I totally understand why we do it, and I think it's a great idea.
So let's go back to, you're at Washington State. What was the process of getting from Washington State to TCU? Was it when you guys played away in Fort Worth? You're like, it's kind of cool.
That was pretty sweet. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Just being, it was like a Tuesday, and there was 4,000 fans.
Yeah, it went extra innings.
Tough loss back then, but now I'm like, go Frogs.
Sleeper cell.
Getting here is a cool story. My Kristen Sarlos, my head coach's wife, grew up with my mom.
Oh, nice.
Oh, no way.
She's from the Seattle area.
Yeah, so she's from there. So they I didn't fully know the Sarlos family, but my mom did, and I've always known about TCU. I wanted to go to TCU out of high school, and I probably wasn't ready for that. Probably why I went to junior college. But that made the process a whole lot easier. And I remember when the portal opened, like the very first day, Kirk called me. This is 2 hours time-wise ahead compared to back home for me. Like I was still asleep. Like I wasn't even up. Like he called me early in the morning, and he left me a voicemail, and I was like, that was kind of the start of like a really surreal experience, going from a junior college to a D1 school to like maybe a little bit more notable baseball school in the Division I level. And that whole process was very different from me, going from, man, like I almost felt like when I was like going into junior college, like I had to convince schools like, hey, like you should take me. Like I want to go to your school. And then entering the transfer portal for my senior year was a real eye-opening experience of like, this is a little bit different. But I made sure to take the process slow, talk to all the schools, but I'm really glad that I finalized my decision here.
Were you considering anywhere else?
I talked to a lot of schools. Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of narrowed it down to a select few towards the end, and then I really thought that this was the place for me. Playing that Tuesday game definitely helped.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was tired of playing out in the cold and all the places out there, but because it was like end of February when I was at Washington State and played here, and it was like 93.
Yeah.
Like, you guys live in this all the time? Like, I went back for our like first home game, and it was snowing back there, and I'm like, wow, guys, like this is a little different.
Yeah.
Texas is weird because you'll get some games at Lupton and it'll be in the 40s and it is just miserable.
That's not bad at all. That is.
I hate it.
That is not
talking to an Eskimo over here.
That is growing up playing games when it's 35 and there's like a light rain going on. It's windy. You get used to that. Like I remember last year, towards like the end of the fall, when you guys say it gets a little cold, it's down to like 50 and everyone's wearing long sleeves and all that.
Heck yeah. I'm bundled up.
This is short sleeve weather.
It's when you thrive.
Oh yeah.
All right. So from our observations, I think it's safe to consider you one of the leaders on the team. And that could be a number. You could have just been born with that. Maybe your dad was a coach. Who knows? A combination of things. But when you enter a new environment, what is that transition like? Like I'm the new guy to now I'm the leader of the team.
Yeah, I think it's when you come in as a new guy. I think maybe the best way to lead, because it's hard to voice your opinion right off the bat as a new guy. Like it's
right.
I think that's very difficult for a lot of people to do, and I think the best way to do that is lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
Show up. Do your work, hey, how can I help you? What can I do here? Things like that, and then really like it comes out like just hanging out with your teammates, like hanging out with your guys. And then once you get really comfortable with your new teammates, like there's no fear in leading at all.
Right.
I think that's what we're really trying to focus on right now this year is with the new guys, the transfers and the freshmen is like, we just need, once you guys get like comfortable, it's hard to get there, but once you guys get comfortable, like we want you guys to lead too. I don't want to be a solo voice out there yelling different things, or maybe Lepore, who's now an old pitcher, or Louis, those guys who are considered old guys on the team now. Of we don't need one voice of opinion. We want the whole team, and I think that it comes with being comfortable. I think the longer through the fall and into the season you get is the more comfortable around your guys. And I feel like it's pretty simple of just once you get comfortable, like voice your opinion. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear the young guys talk. I want to learn about them. I want to know like, hey, what's your style of doing this or doing that? Of like what can you really say to us, because I do want to hear it.
So let me follow up with that, because it's something I was thinking about today. With the transfer portal, you're bringing in guys from all over with different backgrounds. You kind of get like a diversity of experience, right? Yeah. So what is something you brought from Washington State that was different, that maybe, that the TCU program looked at like, oh yeah, we can do this differently, or, that's a great idea, or something unique. Is there any example of that?
I don't know.
Or maybe from somebody else, like Jack Bell came from A&M, right? So I
think it's like you learn almost, I think in the world of baseball, in college baseball, is like there's different playing styles in different areas. They're really like, you have West Coast baseball, like that I grew up playing, that is, you get a guy on, bunt or steal, get him over, get him in. Like that's very West Coast style baseball. And playing it at Washington State, like you weren't seeing relief guys coming in throwing 97 like you do here. Like it's very 90, 92, but the ball's going to move a lot and they're going to have 4 different pitches. And I think that really helped me when I was coming here, of that you learn to hit off speed when you play in the West Coast. You learn to hit sliders, and guys aren't gonna blow you away with velocity, but they're gonna dice you up with, you know, two seam, cutter, slider, curveball mixes. And I think that learning, you know, like different styles, like we went up to play San Diego and they played that style of baseball. Fastball at the top of the zone with a slider off of it, and you kind of, maybe not it was me bringing something, but it was you. I think when we go play other teams like that, like you learn what you're going up against. You know, some teams like to stand in the box and they're like, we're going to try to hit 10 home runs off of you. And sometimes they do. And, you know, sometimes you got to tip the cap of like, hey, they stuck to their plan of they're going to try to run balls out of the yard. And thank goodness we play it at Lupton when the ball, you know, wind blows in a lot. That helps. But I think it's just learning different styles. Like you said, like Bell, Texas kid, phenomenal glove. Like the dudes in the South like have great glove work. I come to find out. I think the Northwest dudes do too, just because we're always in the indoor because it's raining and it's snowing all the time and you're just working on drills. But I think just being able to understand different aspects of baseball, because I really don't think it's the same in all parts of the country.
Do you think TCU has a good mix of those different regions? Like, you know, in the Southeast, to me, it seems like, you know, they like to work the count and either draw walks or hit home runs, like you said. And then we have a lot of West Coast guys who move put the ball in play. And do you think TCU is like a good mesh of all of those put together?
I do. I think like if you look at last year, like you can see that in different dudes, you know, like me, I was more of I'm going to be patient and work account guy. And then you see guys like more of our bigger power guys, like maybe like Brunson and Stroh and Franco and those guys who are like, you missed that first fastball, I'm going to smack it. Like you kind of do pick up on that. What was it? I think Mosiello was telling me I only swung at the first pitch of an at-bat 3 times last year in like 220 something plate appearances. And then, like, looking back, I think we were making fun of Stroh in a game because he didn't swing at 2 pitches, like in an entire game. So I think you come to realize that, you know, some guys have different plans up at the plate, and it works for them. It works for me. I think you do learn different aspects of that.
I mean, y'all kind of got a diverse coaching staff too. I mean, Los is a West Coast guy. Mo's from the South, and John, he's a Michigan guy.
Michigan, yeah, they're all over, which I think is really cool. You know, you get to, I mean, they all have very different characteristics about them, and I love every single one of them. They're awesome. I mean, I think we have the best coaching in the country. Just how they interact with their players, it's phenomenal, and it's you do pick up on a little bit of each from each guy, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Have you been just absolutely throttled by Coach Mo yet? Has he yelled at you?
Probably. I can't think of a specific time, but there's definitely been a time last year, and I don't think it's happened in the fall yet. In the last month, I don't think so. But in the fall,
let's whip him up. Let's do something to get him going.
Right. Last year, there was definitely some times where I'm like, I do something in a game, and I'm like, I know what I'm going into the dugout to find.
You ever just walk in the dugout and the coach points at you down the tunnel?
No, I haven't had that. No, I haven't. I haven't been sent down the tunnel yet. I hope I don't get there.
Well, I hope not either. I'm not wishing that.
No. I really don't want that. No.
Without naming names, how often does that happen?
Get sent down the tunnel?
Yeah, just.
I don't think that's ever happened. I haven't seen one time where someone where someone.
All right, so maybe we've seen it before. So we wonder. We've seen it live and in person before. So we kind of wonder if this a frequent thing or just some one-offs.
No, I can't really think of one time last year at all where that happened now.
without name, Luke and Baker got it real bad one day. Real bad. That's the one there's another one that sticks out at me, but we won't name too many names. Martin, what else you got? I have a couple more questions. So
I think it was last year. I think it was when we had UTRGV, or maybe it was like the BYU series. But you seem to be a guy who loves to come up late in the game when the game's on the line. How do you prepare mentally to be ready in those high leverage situations late in the game?
Yeah, I think it's first off, like I remember both those games. I remember both the walk-offs, and it was just kind of like thinking back to like when I remember standing in the dugout, and I was counting out. I was like, okay, if he gets on and then he gets on, I can have bases loaded. And then I'm like, oh wait, then Stroh's up. But what if they intentionally walk him, which happened? Yeah. Like, what if they intentionally walk him? And I'm just thinking there, I was like, dude, these are like the things that, like when you're a kid, you're like, dude, bases loaded, 1-0, 1, 2 outs, a game on the line here. Like those are the things I think of that at night. It was just like, man, like I want to get put in that situation so badly. Like being put, like you're 1 out, bases loaded, tie game, and you get up to the plate is like a dream every single time. Like it fires me up thinking about it. So it's just, I think it's just like you get real excited, but then you kind of gotta think back of like, okay, like I gotta slow myself down. I gotta stick to my plan, because it's really easy to be like, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna hit a home run, and then you roll over or something, turn a double play on you. And I think it's just, I get excited for sure. Like, there's no way you can't not get excited. And I think that when you are excited, it takes away the nerves and the stress of like, oh man, like big situation here. Like, oh, I get to go do this. Like these guys in front of me, however many dudes in front of me, just did their job and did everything we needed them to do to give the bat to me. And
did you have 3 game winners last year?
I think I just had 2.
Okay. I remember the 2. I didn't know if I was forgetting one.
No, I think I just had the 2.
Okay.
UTRGV and then BYU the last game.
Oh no! See, okay, so yeah, I knew there was a third. I was thinking of San Diego.
I was thinking San Diego's kind of late. That was a late home run, right?
That was in the top of the 9th, I think.
Yeah. Now I framed my question with game winners, not necessarily walk-offs, right?
Okay.
So.
Yeah. 3 of them. I think the San Diego one was just. I was just trying to get on base. I think it was 3-1. And I was like, I'll take a walk, I'll take a single. Like we were in pass the stick mode, just hand it to the next guy, like secure a run. And, I got a good pitch I could handle. And like I had 2 home runs that game, and I didn't have one until Baylor after that. But, that's how baseball works sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Another question from me. There's currently a lot of talk about last year's freshman class and them going into their sophomore year. Were you guys surprised at how well they contributed it, or in the fall and in the spring, you guys were like, oh yeah, these guys are going to ball out?
I think, we scrimmaged a lot in the fall, a ton.
Right.
So you get to see immediately what these guys got. Like they're going to showcase it. And I remember watching all of our freshmen, and I'm like, these guys are nasty.
Yeah.
Like these guys pitch, they hit, they field. Like once we got into season, like it was no surprise.
Okay.
None at all. I'm like, you guys can call them freshmen. They don't act like freshmen. They don't play like freshmen. Like we found out, I personally found out real quick. I'm like, these guys are ballers. They're legit.
So to build off that, do you think freshmen nowadays, with how prevalent travel ball is and the perfect game circuit and all that freshmen now come in more ready than ever?
Probably
to play ball.
I'd say so. Like I think like the biggest difference is, guys throw harder, of course. And the only other thing is the game's a little bit faster. Guys run, outfielders are faster, guys run the bases faster. You got to get rid of it a little bit quicker. But I think like freshmen nowadays, like you see 16-year-olds throwing 95. And I think like
insane.
Well, also there was a day not too long ago, all those guys would have just gone pro. The college game is getting a little more crowded. So
it is. Maybe that was like, I know like COVID had a big thing of that. And
sure.
I think I'm probably, COVID didn't really affect me, but I think I'm like the last of like the really old guys going through college. But I think like the freshmen nowadays, like they're ready. And I think like if you make it to campus as a freshman, like you're expected across the country to make a difference.
Mm-hmm. So how does the new crop look? We're pretty excited about them.
They're great. They're doing a phenomenal job. They're getting it done. They're hard workers. I'll give them that. They're real hard workers, and I respect that. Us older guys or returners, as we call us, we respect that. They're getting after it. They listen. I think that's a big thing. It was like we've been in the Mosiello offense already, and just being able to like, hey, like here's a little insight. Here's a little tweak of this is how we run that of these little things, and they listen, and I mean they've been getting it done.
So what on that? So what are some examples of what Coach Mosiello does different than any of your previous experiences, say Washington State, even JUCO? Like what is it about his offense that's unique?
I think it's one, it's very aggressive. Yeah, I think you guys know that the level the style of frog ball is a very aggressive style of baseball, and I think that's a big factor. I think there's always something to do. There's always, you can't just, I'm at first base and I'm running to second. Like there's always something. It's not like you hit a single and you round first and you kind of just like take 2 steps after first base and you walk back and you go party. Like it's always like, where's the ball? Is there a bad throw? Like did he miss a cutoff guy? Is my round big enough that if the outfielder short hops the cutoff guy and he kicks off 5 feet, is my round long enough that I can go get to second and run into the guy's face? There's always somewhere to be. There's always something to do. If you just, like I said, if you just round a base and you're a little lazy about it, like what could you do to get to second? What could you do to get to third? Or is there a line drive and we're already running? You're not stopping because you're already doubled up. Like, how can we get to third on that play? I think it's very aggressive. And it's hard to get comfortable with at first, like as a transfer or a freshman. But I think once you understand it, you almost get to play free. Like it's just
sounds like just a ton of detail, right?
A ton.
Yeah.
It sounds like the game within the margins of the game. Like,
yes.
Right. And we noticed last year, especially, it was one of the biggest like freshman classes and transfer classes, and some of the guys kind of struggled with it. But as the year went on, guys really got better at it. And then this is probably one of the largest like share of the roster being returners and knowing the offense. So I feel like that really bodes well for TCU.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I said, I think it's being my second year in the Mosiello offense is once you understand it and you fully like get the goal and you understand how we're trying to operate, you basically like you don't even think. It's just reaction at that point, and it's fast. Like you're moving and you don't got to think about the ball kicked off somebody. Like, is there a little hesitation? It's go. And I think it's very beneficial to an offense.
How often was that like talked about at your previous, like at Washington State? Are they going through that amount of detail?
I mean, no one can go into the amount of detail that Mo goes into. You just you just can't. I don't think there's another team in the country that can go into just overall baseball detail than Bill Mosiello. I mean, that guy is a wizard of the game. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. He tells us all the time, he was like, I can be watching your swing, and I know what the left fielder's first step was and what direction. As I'm looking this way, I know what's going on over here. Like the guy is unreal. He really is. Like he knows every aspect of the game before you are going to do it.
Wow.
So whenever you first got on and you were going through meetings with Mo, were you kind of like, man, maybe I don't know baseball?
Yes. Yes. Last year for sure. Like there was times where I was sitting in there and he's like going through a first to like we're talking defense and it's like a first to third and I'm like, oh, the guy's running, like I got that. And then he's bringing up like an outfielder and like the shortstop moving this way and I'm like, do I not know baseball very well? Like I feel like I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy in the baseball world. Like I feel like I know what's going on, but compared like from last year to now, I think it's night and day difference.
So last question from me. Last year was your first year. You got a taste of regionals. And look, I promise it's usually a lot more fun. It goes a lot longer. With how the season ended, is there an extra kind of energy and motivation compared to last year? Or is it just business? Like we're just going to, this is how hard we work regardless. Like,
yeah, I think there is. I think it's more of you get a taste of what showing up and going 0-2 and getting sent home feels like.
That's never happened to us.
That was not a great feeling, going in and I felt like before those two games, we were playing good baseball. Like we were excited.
Right.
We're like, this is where we make our run. And, and we felt like we didn't get the hosting we deserved. Maybe we did deserve it. Maybe we didn't. It didn't matter. And then that kind of fired us up of like, let's go. Like we'll go play somewhere else. And then, baseball happens and you don't play how you want to and you get sent home. And I remember kind of being in the hotel that night after we lost the second game. And it was just like, it's over. Like it felt like an abrupt stop. Like all of a sudden it's going, here we go. I get to go hang out with my guys for another month. We're not in school anymore. We're having a good time. It's just baseball. And you get to hang out with your 35 closest friends. And then boom, stop.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting on a plane the next week to go home. And you're like, what happened, dude?
Yeah.
I think that definitely plays into it of like, we know what that feels like now of like, man, I don't want to go through that again. After that, I was having no fun. That was not fun at all. And I think it also shows of like how important a single game in the regular season can be. How important one series can be. Of just maybe, it's always the what if. Like, what if we played well in these two series? Would we have hosted? And if we host, is it a different outcome of playing at Lupton's? A lot different than playing away.
Or if we close out that Sunday and we get the sweep, like we felt good at the time because we got 2 out of 3, but looking back, we should have got that sweep.
We won that series instead of losing 2 of that series to somebody. Do we host or do we do this or do we do that? And I think I think it's more so of you don't look so much back on the postseason play. You look back on the regular season and all those things of, okay, we realize that a Tuesday midweek game is more important than you think.
Yep.
Or a Sunday game of, we always talk about how Sunday is the most important game. You either sweep somebody, you're trying to win a series, or you're trying not to get swept.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's where it comes in of like, you realize how important a single game can be. It's not just oh man, we won the first 2, but we didn't play well and we lost on Sunday. That can be a difference between getting into a conference tournament. It can be a difference of hosting or not hosting, or if it can be a difference of you being a top 8 seed and getting a regional host, or you got to go somewhere for a super regional,
Yeah.
So I think it's just
in the margins.
In the margins, you really hone in on like, man, like every single game is so important.
Do you guys have any others?
Yeah, I was going to build off of that. Does that that feeling of what it was like going 2-Q in Corvallis kind of help you block out? Because there's going to be a lot of noise about this TCU baseball team as you go through fall ball, and especially as like season previews come up from, everyone's going to be picking TCU. They're in my preseason top 8 to go to Omaha. Does that kind of help, that feeling kind of help block out that outside noise?
Yes and no. I think, preseason rankings are great. It basically says what everyone thinks you're going to be. It doesn't mean what you're going to be at all. I think it's yes, it's nice. It'd be awesome, of course. I'd love to be ranked. I think that when you're a ranked team and you're playing well, I think you get more. I think you fans are feel a little enticed to come. You maybe get some sellout games, you get left and rocking a little bit. I think that's awesome. But I think at the same time I don't think preseason rankings mean anything. Of course, I see somebody, we have TCU in our Omaha 8. Awesome. I appreciate you of thinking highly of us. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what an analytic person thinks of what we have on paper, because you got to go out and you got to play 9 innings every day.
Yeah.
Baseball and football are completely different when it comes to preseason rankings and all that. But I like what Jacob has to say about, what preseason rankings mean. And as you've advanced further around, do you want to touch on that, Jacob?
Well, just for football, we can apply it to baseball, but basically I said, okay, week 0, you have your priors, and your priors make up 100% of your rankings. Now, week 1, okay, your priors should mean 80%. And now you're evaluating 20% of what's actually happened on the field. Week 2, it's, 60-40 and so on. Then you get, to the end of week 5, and now it's all your preseason priors are out the window. Yeah, we're only evaluating the last 5 weeks. So that's kind of how I would, if I was a voter, that's how I would, kind of think through it.
Yeah. No, I think you're 100% correct, because I think you can come out the first week and maybe you don't play how you feel like you're playing. And of course, you might dip down on someone's chart and, that happens. But then it's baseball, like you said, football is 12 games, 11 games, something like that.
12, yeah.
Our regular season is 60 games.
Right. So for you guys, it would be more like months, right?
It's
or a series of weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, you look at weeks.
Ranked, but yeah, you're a month and a half in and you're 20-2, you're probably going to be ranked. It doesn't matter what school you are. It doesn't matter if you're in the SEC, if you're in a mid-major, if you're in the Big 12. You go 20-2 in your first month and a half, you're going to be ranked.
Doesn't matter what the preseason priors are at that point.
It doesn't matter if you were preseason to be picked last in your conference. If you go out and you play good baseball and you win games, you have to be ranked.
Yeah.
Unless you're an SEC team, you can go 10-10. They'll still put you in the top 10. You don't have to respond to that, but that's can't stand the SEC.
I saw your Twitter.
Yeah.
I saw your Twitter.
My last question for you, Cole, is what are your goals for this season as an individual and then on a team level?
Yeah. I think individually it's now I might really be an old guy. And I think I've been around college baseball quite a bit, and I think I don't want to look at, I want to hit 350 or I want to hit 15 home runs, individual actual statistic goals. I need to be able to lead in whatever way that the team needs me to lead, whether that's, I need to voice it. I need to action wise, different things. I think that's my goal of what can I do because I can't, one person, unless you're a starting pitcher and you throw a perfect game, you can't win the game. One person, I can go 5 for 5 with 2 home runs and we can lose the game. That's the great thing about baseball is it is a very team sport. I might get 4 ground balls in one game and I get 4 at bats, and what I do with that contributes to the team, and I think it's just really utilizing a leadership role and making it known of like, hey, like this is 10 guys at one time going to war for each other, our best versus your best. And I think that if I can showcase that'd be my goal. Team-wise, you know, it's always we want to go to Omaha, of course.
The pyramid.
It's the pyramid of taking steps one at a time. And I think that my personal goal, like for the team, host a regional.
There you go.
Because if you host a regional, that means you did the steps before it to get to that. You know, you took care of business on weekends. You played well in midweeks. You're basically a top 16 team in the country, and then you get to play postseason baseball in Fort Worth. You know,
right.
I mean, I've checked our stats of all that of like we play better at Lupton. You can't hide it. You look at the stats, we do. And I think that, yes, you look at last year and we went 0-2. Does that change if we play at Lupton? I'd like to think so. I hope so. But I think that in my college baseball career, I want, maybe that's selfish just for me, but I think the other guys want it too, I want to play a home game postseason in front of our fans.
Yeah. It's electric, man. We've all experienced it. It's indescribable from the regular season. And we have a good regular season crowd, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Dude, when you look back and that whole outfield, there's no concrete to be seen. I mean,
I've heard stories of like people getting there 4 hours before the game.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I want to be driving into the parking lot and just walking into the door and like see a line of people like just waiting for postseason baseball. Like that fires me up. That's what I want. That's what the team wants. That's what I hope Fort Worth wants, of just bring some postseason baseball to the fort.
Well, Cole, I think we can call that a walk-off response.
I know.
See what I did there? From Mr. Walk-Off himself. Cole Cramer, thank you for joining us tonight, man. It was a pleasure. Good talk to you. We hope we can do it again down the road.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I had a blast. Love sitting and talking some baseball.
Yeah, man. Anytime you want to come on, let us know.
Yeah, weekly?
Yeah, we'll do it weekly.
Right on.
All right, Cole. Take care, man. Thanks again.
I appreciate you guys.
Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.